Hello and welcome everybody to 1962. What were you doing in 1962? Do you know what Arnold Palmer was doing in 1962? He was winning the Masters. Just casually, just going out winning a major. Just like, yo, I'm the best golfer around, remember? Yeah, we know Arnold. Arnold Palmer in 1962. You know what else was happening in 1962? Walmart opened its first store in 1962. You know, speaking of Walmart and big box stores, do you know the other store that opened its doors? A store called Target. Or as my family calls it, Target, because it's fancy, I guess. I don't know. You know what's not fancy? This club. This is the more affordable Ben Hogan club that was offered at the time. Because Ben Hogan realized, we want to sell a premium set, maybe we should sell a less expensive set. And that's what this is. So let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. The aft really gives it away here. You can see by the sole here, there's the Ben Hogan signature. Towards the top line, we have the 306i Precision. This was sold as the moderately priced iron. So you can see the grooves, no nonsense. Top line looks very much like an 8 iron. They're starting to round the edge here. This is this stainless or is this forged? I do not know. Anyway, you can see the shaft is pinned right here. But looking at this, there's nothing that really calls attention to itself. Like the muscle is just straight cut, no fancy shapes or anything, nothing finicky about it. Knurling around the hosel here. It looks pretty straightforward. And then we have this black and red ferrule. Stepped shaft to Hogan True Temper label with an M flex right here. So not a number like you find on the Apex, the Percussion Center, the PC irons that were out at the same time as this one. 1962 is when they started selling the 306s, and you can see this has a kind of, is that a navy and red Ben Hogan branded grip right here. It's pretty interesting spiral shape there. So I did get this out last end of summer, fall. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how it feels to hit. Let's move out to the range. Ben Hogan 306i. This is a fun, interesting club from our Ben Hogan brand. People love the idea of owning some Ben Hogans, and then they came out with this, which is like a discount set. It's like Ben Hogans that you can afford. Kind of a thicker blade here. It still looks like it aged really well. I don't know what Ben Hogan does to their clubs, but all these forged clubs, I mean, they're not peeling, they're not rusting. Well, not this one. This looks good, even for a, considering an 8 iron, for a discount line in one of the premium manufacturers. Interesting. Let's see what it feels like. That was definitely pretty quiet. Definitely quieter than some of the other stainless clubs I've been hitting today. So Ben Hogan strikes again. This time with a discount line of clubs for someone who wants some Hogans but doesn't want to break the bank. I'm actually quite surprised by these. Why are these not on more people's radar? The grip is really hard, but it has this spiral texture to it, which, you know, gives me tons of grip, so I feel plenty confident with it. Interesting. It's just a solid 8. I mean, it's just a solid blade. I mean, yes. Why? I don't get this. How has this been off my radar my whole life? It's like we want shiny and bling and look at me, but maybe sometimes just an honest iron is the way to go.
And honest is the way I would describe this. Honest and well made. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I understand it's not going to hold a lot of value. 306i by Ben Hogan.
So this, to me, feels like a club. If you have a set, if you play a set, they're going to do the job. They play golf. You can play golf with these, okay? Here's my complaint. When I talk to people, or we are looking at to buy a set of clubs, I'm looking for two things. Is it historically significant? And is it giving me something at a value? Meaning, for example, TaylorMade P790s, the first edition. Those have come down in price a lot from when they first came out, and they're a great value because you're not paying, the depreciation has taken the price to a point where they're very affordable. Similarly with the Hawkeye titanium irons from the late 90s. Those still play fine. Yeah, there's a little bit of offset on there, but they're beautiful, beautiful irons. You can buy a set of those and play a set of those and at a very depreciated price. Historically significant, right? Like the original Ben Hogan Precision Saber irons. This is none of those things. To me, this is not like a desirable club, but is it historically relevant? Ben Hogan, one of the premier brands. A lot of people I talk to here in Wisconsin, people who were caddies, people who played golf, people who did various things involved with the golf community, said that Ben Hogan irons were just super prevalent. Any good player or any rich person or any successful person or anybody trying to succeed in golf played Hogans historically. I'm like, that's interesting. That is interesting. So is it historically relevant that they made a cheaper set? You could argue yes, and that's why I'm making this video. It's worth mentioning. For a long time, when you go to college, you learn things. It's called price discrimination. We want to sell clubs to people who can afford like the expensive stuff, but we can, so we can make them cheaper and sell them for less, and we won't charge as much, right? Price discrimination. Toyota, Lexus. You guys know? Okay. We don't have to dwell on that. And that's what this is. It's introducing that concept. I don't know if that's historically significant enough for me to want to go out and buy a set of these or play a set of these. Do you know why? Because what we were talking about earlier, depreciation. The other sets have depreciated to a point where I can go out, and the ones that were released with this were the PC, the Percussion Center, I think. Just go buy a set of those. Those were the pro line high-end clubs. They're not going to cost much more than these. Oh, $100 for a set of irons. Have you seen how much new irons cost? $1,000+. So, yeah, they're cool irons. Yeah, I think it's important to recognize what we're looking at and talk about it historically. But do I want a set to go play with? I wouldn't mind if I showed up, I'm going to visit my family. I'm going to visit some friends, and they're just like, they hand me a set of these, and I'll just be like, sweet, rock and roll, let's go play some golf. It's not like I would avoid playing them, but I wouldn't go seek it. You know what I mean? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your memories. Let me know if you share that same feeling in the comments below. This is just my opinion. As usual, a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you would like to support the channel in another way, I do have an Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.